am somebody.
I am somebody.
I was somebody when I came.
I was somebody when I came.
I'll be a better somebody when I leave.
I love using restorative practices and social emotional learning to make sure that my students are connecting their social needs with their learning needs. I use personalized education plans for each child in my classroom. One-on-one we conference and we discuss their behavioral needs and their learning needs. I need to know their data story. That's my job as a teacher. But I also need to know their life story. What are their experiences? And then I need to know their behavior story. How do they respond to those experiences? So using those three aspects of their lives, I'm able to personalize and make learning more impactful. In my classroom, we say you have to make 5 mistakes a day. How many mistakes have you made today?
I made 2.
I also believe that we must bring joy in learning. Joy, fun, activities, experiential learning. That's what true, authentic learning is about. To a new teacher starting in this profession, I would say, bring love. Let's start there.
My favorite quote is that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our lightness and not our darkness that most frightens us. And to me, that quote means the things that really make us great are the things that scare us the most. And a lot of times my students I'll recognize in my class when they have to do something like a solo, or if they are asked to step into the light, they recognize it's a very scary and uncomfortable place to be. And as an educator, I feel that it's my job to show them that that's what they really fear, is the greatness that's within them, and to show them that they can be so much more than they even thought that they could achieve. When I was going through high school, the very classes that I'm currently teaching are the ones where I felt the most myself, where I felt the most natural and I felt where I belonged. When I was 17 years old, sitting in my band room, my 2 goals were that I wanted to change the world and I wanted to change lives. I felt that teaching would be the only career that I could do both at the same time. And then as a teacher, I truly believe that that is our goal, is to show our students the gifts that they have and how they can use those gifts to change the world.
My classroom is a classroom of kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade adaptive students with high special needs, from the need to understand that communication is happening around them, to actually learning to read and do math and experience some real academic successes. I have some students who have been in the general ed classroom and also in the adaptive classroom. I need to provide the support for that teacher in the general ed classroom that will make my student successful there. So from bell to bell, we are working with them, we are talking with them, we are moving them ahead in gaining the skills that they need to have. I think we need to look at our students as the individuals with great value and great worth and the potential that they have. We need to look at them with wonder what it's going to be like for them. I wonder what their potential will be. I wonder what difference I can make in their life. I want to build strong children. That's our business, that's our calling, that really is our passion, and that really is our joy.
I began my career not as a teacher, but as an intelligence officer in the Air Force.
So I think that model is pretty legit for how clouds really look, right?
It looks good. I'm kind of the Miss Frizzle of the high school classroom because I just love to teach and I love to find cool ways for my kids to learn. But I also love to dive down deep into what they understand and find the places where they need some help. Yeah, so just come in and see me tomorrow morning and I'll help you out with that, okay? Every single kid in my classroom has the potential to be a rocket scientist. It's my responsibility to figure out how to get them there.
When you have your AV blood and you add A and you add B, see what happens.
Each one of my students is unique. Each one of my students is different. Each one of my students needs something a little bit different from me every day. I'm a firm believer that a growth mindset in classrooms is a very, very important thing to help our students truly be able to grow and maximize their potential. Growth mindset does not just refer to your students, it also refers to you. I spend quite a bit of time outside of school to try to make sure I have maximized everything I can possibly do to help every single one of my students be the absolute best that they can be when they leave my classroom.
NIA, which means what? Purpose. What is your purpose? I know my purpose is teaching.
I think through music education, you can explore so many different areas, history, math, science, and it can be the springboard for a student to find their purpose. I get to use my medium to integrate with other subject areas so students have a broader idea of how music serves culture. It's a snapshot in time and culture, and it's also a definition of the culture at the time. In music, every voice is heard, and it should be heard. If you mess up, it's okay. It's the not trying that's the failure. It teaches resilience, and I believe that students need to learn resilience and commitment. I want to leave a legacy of learning, and I believe that through the right techniques and best practices, education is a bootstrap. Maybe if I give them that bootstrap, they'll be able to wear those boots well and walk into the future, into their purpose.
I believe that education is a calling. I believe that education chose me. I did not choose it. As a young kid growing up in poverty, as a dyslexic kid, education was the thing that continued to raise me and change me and help me become who I am.
It helps to make you. It doesn't define you.
Oftentimes, there's a greatness in students that they're not aware of. We see it as educators, and it's our job to awaken and inspire the greatness that a student has. We educate the potential of a student because a student can learn. If they're inspired, they can learn, and they will always blow us away by what they learn if they're inspired. I think education should be always personalized for children, finding out who kids are, where they come from.
When you grow up on the streets of New York and without a father, and you're exposed to all those things, and then you can still become successful,
find out their cultural background and help them understand their cultural background, and then use that platform to build education upon. That, to me, that's the way education ought to be done.
I became a teacher to make a difference, and so I want to inspire my students to also do the same. I am fortunate enough to teach at the same elementary school that I attended. So my 5th grade teacher, that is just right next door from my classroom now, was my inspiration. She made learning feel like it was just a gift, and that's when I saw, like, I want to also be able to do that for students, and I want to be able to inspire kids to love learning for their whole lives. And so Piney Creek is just a really special place. It's a community, it's a family, it's a great place to be. So is it comparing and contrasting those cars, or is it just telling you about them? Okay, so what is it when we're just telling about something? Description. See, you used all of your clues and you found it. Great job. If we can create a place here for them where they know that they can impact change and have voice, then we can use education to propel them forward in a way that they can stay here and improve our community, or also feel like they can go out into the world and create change in other places.
In order to make sure people understand who our students are, I need to say that we are an alternative school, but we are also a community school. Any student can come here who wants to. But some students are asked to come here because they simply cannot function in a regular classroom because their lives are far too difficult. I think it's also important that people know that those of us who are here because we choose to be. But at this point in my career, I want to work with students who are in most need of someone who is entirely passionate about them and who they are and what they can do for the world. And so that is what this school is about. It is about bringing in students who may not have another good place to go and making them feel welcome and making them feel comfortable, and then saying, what can we do for you? How can I serve you? How can I allow you to give the world what you have to give? And once you've answered those questions, then you can do things like we've done with the grants, where you provide coffee because so many of our students don't get sleep because they're in situations where either they don't have a bed, or the family is too noisy, or there are people coming and going all night, so they don't sleep, so they come in and they're tired. And they sometimes come in hungry, so we give them food. So we personalize by taking care of their physical needs. And I think that this school is a place where so many people's passion meets the world's great need.
Students have the capability to learn. They have a natural curiosity for learning. I just have to find what that is. I have to build that relationship with my students. That relationship is what makes that student develop confidence in themselves to know that they can be successful. It's my job and my desire to find out what motivates each one of my students, to remind them that learning can be fun and engaging and interesting. And I want them each day when they spend that hour in my classroom to come in excited about whatever we're going to do today, to go home talking about it, to remember that once upon a time they really loved learning. I want them to enjoy their learning process and become partners in it with me. You knew number sense that that's not possible, so you were able to go back and fix it. That's good. You caught the mistake. Good job. I want them working toward personal growth. They have so many abilities. So often I need to provide the spark. I need to capture the interest and maybe provide a little bit of the framework, and then I need to get out of their way, because what they can create and what they can develop together is really quite incredible. And I am amazed every year at what they're able to do.
I believe that collaboration is the key to student success.
I believe that education truly can be the way that everyone has the best opportunities in life.
I believe that all children have the capability to learn and to be excited about learning.
I believe as educators, we're built to champion our students.
I believe that our students are the future.
I believe in the potential of every single student.
All students can learn.
I believe that the public school classroom is the last bastion of democracy.
I believe we have to inspire potential, we have to educate greatness, and we have to love our students in the meantime.